So moving forward to 2010, Google completely changed the way that its search indexed worked. So what happened in 2010? I think it was essentially because of services like Twitter. Because if you think about it, back then, people, if they wanted immediate news, didn't go to Google for it. If they wanted to see what had happened in the news over the last hour, Google weren't generally delivering what searchers were looking for. Twitter was a lot better at handling that. So Google mixed up the algorithm a little bit to try and deliver newer, fresher results when the particular search required it. Because if you think about how the old algorithm worked, it was largely based on quantity of links. And if an old article, maybe from the year 2000, had several thousand links pointing to it in relation to a particular keyword phrase, then you can understand why Google's old algorithm would think that page was the most relevant page on that particular topic. But of course, things are updated all the time, and just because something was published quite a few years ago and it has thousands of links pointing to it doesn't make it the most relevant source on that particular topic nowadays. Perhaps something's just been published 2 hours ago and it's only got 2 links pointing to it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's less relevant. It could be probably more relevant for today's audience. So Google completely mixed things up with its caffeine update, and it was able to determine better by using things like overall domain authority if a site should have fresh content ranked quite quickly. Move forward another couple of years to 2012, and it started doing things like recommending that your site was optimized for smartphones. And that makes a lot of sense, because certainly nowadays many sites have over 50% of their visitors through smartphones or tablet devices. So people tend not to necessarily browse the web through a desktop computer nowadays. So if you use my site for an example here, so this is having a look at my site at digitalmarketingradio.com. So feel free to go onto the site and do something similar yourself as well. So what I'm going to do here is drag the mouse just to the side of the screen. In fact, drag the window a little bit there as well. So you can actually see it on my video screen there as well. Drag the left-hand side in there as well. Now you see the whole web page within the video frame there as well. Now look at this here. When I actually change the browser size, so just in case you don't know how to do this, actually you click on this normalize, this maximize button right in the center of your top right hand side buttons here. So do that to make your browser pop out, and then you can actually change the size of your browser. Now look what's happening here. If I move the window up slightly, you can see even more with the site what's happening. So get it back to the same level here, and look what's happening with the image, look what's happening with the text there. I've got lots of other things going on just down below the window, so I'm going to move the video screen further down there as well. Moving, and look what's happening. So this is what the website looks like on small mobile devices. The text moves. I've got all this content down here at the bottom that is responsive. This is what's called responsive design. So the look and feel of this page, of this podcast, completely changes depending upon the size of the screen. And that's what you need to make sure happens with your website. You need to make sure that your website is responsive so that it displays effectively no matter the size of the device. Because I remember years ago, I used to design web pages, and I used to design them for fixed width screens. So it started off with 640 pixels wide, moved on to 800 pixels wide, then moved on to 1024 pixels wide. But now, if you actually have a look at your Google Analytics stats, and have a look at the devices and the window sizes that people are using to view your website, you'll probably see that there are hundreds of different device sizes that people are using to actually find your site. So it is essential to use a responsive design. And in fact, I'm going to take this domain name, digitalmarketingradio.com, and put it into Google's mobile-friendly test. So I've got this loaded up here as well. So if you go to google.com/webmasters/tools/mobile-friendly, you can copy and paste your a URL into there. You can click the Analyze button, and then Google will go ahead and do a test of your website. So make sure you do that, because if your website isn't mobile friendly, then you're putting off a lot of people. And not only are you putting off people, you are putting off search engines as well, because Google are moving more and more towards using ranking signals about the quality of user experience and ensuring that sites are mobile friendly as well. So that's the reason why Google are offering a tool like this as well. So is your site mobile friendly? Use the tool and find out.